Welcome back. Last time we had just finished doing the delete part of CRUD, but we realized that it wasn't very secure. We basically have no protection. Anyone with the ID of our course can delete it, and all sorts of other nasty stuff can happen. So with that in mind, we need to look at creating policies. Now, this is something that a lot of people have a lot of confusion about. It's actually really simple to do. So if we come to the Laravel documentation, we can find the authorization section, and this is where we have all the information about policies. So we basically want to create a policy for our course or our course model. So we're just going to copy this same structure. Now if you do it so you use the model name followed by policy, it will all work nicely. So it should just work. So we're going to try it and see what happens. So we're going to run this artisan command, and we're going to say course policy, and this is going to create a new folder over here somewhere, policies, and we're going to have this course policy. So okay, actually, do you know what, let's do what they said, because let's delete that, and we will put the flag, and we're going to see it's going to look different when we use the flag. So if we say model course, and it's going to have all these predefined methods for us, which is very handy. So let's see what that's all about. So let's go and have a look at our course controller firstly. Let's get rid of all these things, and we'll go through each method and we'll protect it with a policy. Now I've done this in a bit of a weird way because typically our users aren't going to be looking at the same view as us. They're not going to be looking at this where we create our courses. It'll be separate. So for now, we're just going to worry about the edit, update, and delete controller methods. So we're going to see how we do that. So let's just start with delete, because that's the most obvious. We don't want people deleting something. They just would need our ID of our course, which they can very easily find. And then they just need to send a delete request with the ID, and then it'll be deleted. So that'll be bad. So what we need to do is, we can see we've got a delete method in our course policy, and it takes a user and the course. So let's have a look. We go to authorization. We're going to use this gate authorize, which uses this gate facade. So let's just put that at the top of our controller, and then we come down to our delete, and we're going to use this. So we're going to copy that, paste it. So this is a gate. Now the first argument is the name of the method in our policy. So in our case, it's going to be delete. And by default, the first argument that's passed to each of these methods is the user, and that's the currently authenticated user. So sometimes you're going to want to pass a separate user model, but the first argument is the currently authenticated user, and you do not need to pass that. It's already there. The second, well, you'll see it there, course, which we have there. So I'm not sure why it's highlighting that. I don't think that's a problem. I think that's correct. So what we can do is a couple of tests. So let's just see what happens. So currently it's just returning false by default. So if we try and delete one of our courses, it should just fail. It should just come up with an error message. This action is unauthorized. See that? That's what we want, because it shouldn't be authorizing anyone. But what we want to say is, if the user ID, so the currently authenticated user ID, matches the user ID on the course model, then you can delete it. So we're going to say if user ID equals course user underscore ID, because that's a table, that's a column on the courses table, return true. So now, when I do it, What's wrong with that? What's it not like? Redirect root courses. Okay. Because we made that change, I haven't actually updated. This root here should return the user ID. So we actually want to say, we can actually do this as well. We can get the user ID like this. Remember this, we can access the user object. So we can do that. So now we can go user, and within, this is a bit different to when you're doing this in your Vue front end files, because you do it in an object, but this in Laravel backend, we do user and we have to do it in an array. So we can just say user ID. Now hopefully, so that should actually be deleted now, so this shouldn't exist, yeah. So if we go to courses, oh, my bad. User 1, okay, getting there. So now this should work and it should redirect us back correctly. So that is how we do it. So hopefully that made sense. We'll do it for the other methods up here. So update, it's going to be exactly the same. So we're going to actually change that to update, and let's have a little look. If there's an update here, yep. And we want it to be exactly the same. And what you can actually do is something which we're going to do very shortly. If you have users with different roles and permissions, you can allow different users to do different actions. So you might allow admins to delete anybody's courses, but then non-admins can only delete their own. So you could actually put further conditions here and handle it that way. So let's change that, save that. So now that will work. So updated, so this should work. But if we remove that and just return false, it won't work. So you can see how powerful this is. Very powerful indeed. Let's quickly do the exact same thing for the edit routes. So it doesn't actually exist. You can add more. So it's basically the same as Vue, but we're just going to copy that and we're going to say edit, view the edit page. So we're going to say edit, and it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. And you might just be thinking, why not just use the exact same method? Well, you could, but it might get a bit confusing if you do want to add some different functionality. It's just good to get into the routine of just separating it. You might disagree with me, but probably is, to be fair, just probably is. So let's just do that, edit, and that is that. In the next video, we're going to look at roles and permissions, and we're going to combine this with policies and a little bit of middleware stuff so that we can have a bit more control over who can view what and who can do what. See you then.